Here we are, Karen, for episode number 8 for our interview process and strategies and tips, all that great stuff. Can you believe we made it this far?
Yeah, what is this, 7?
Number 8.
Oh, that's right, because I missed the other one, right?
Exactly. Thank you guys for joining us. We get together every Wednesday here on LinkedIn to talk a little bit of strategy on interviews and all of that great stuff. We did a 9-part series not too long ago on resumes, and now here we are on episode number 8 for interviews. Our next one is going to be on networking strategies as well. Well, Karen, what is strategy number 8?
So strategy number 8 is show them you want this job.
You mean like Jerry Maguire, show them the money?
I mean, I guess kind of, but more along the lines of you had me at hello with this job.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, in the interview, really demonstrate that you want the job, that you really are interested in it. You know, it's funny, a lot of times when I experience interviews, an individual could be there, they might be nervous, but they just really don't come across as like they want to be there or they're excited about the opportunity. They're just kind of like, yeah, you can hire me if you want. I mean,
right. Or maybe they're just so nervous that they seem aloof and disinterested, but that's not really the case.
Right.
Which is why it's important to practice and have mock interviews so you don't feel so nervous and show the wrong message.
Exactly. You need to be mindful about how you're coming off. The people that I was talking about, maybe they really did want the job, but they just weren't able to demonstrate it well enough.
You made them too nervous.
It kind of happens. But never fear, the Gov Geeks are here to talk a little bit of strategy to help you feel great and to show them that you want that job. So what's the first strategy?
So the first one is to describe why the role is good for you.
Right. Specifically that role and what your experiences are. Why is it that you as an individual are going to be really great for that position or that opportunity?
That you were made for this position.
Yeah. I'm really good at this. My credentials have showed this in the past. I've been able to have these accomplishments. I look forward to bringing them to this organization. Demonstrate that you know what the organization does and that you understand what the roles and the responsibilities are, and demonstrate that you can do those things and you're excited to do them.
Right. And practice an answer to that question specifically, because sometimes that will be a key question is, what made you apply for this position?
Right. Why do you want this job? How is it that you are the most qualified individual? How would you demonstrate your passion for this type of work?
All good questions to be prepared for.
So think about some of those things. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, what's the next one?
The next one is know the details of the agency, which you mentioned a little bit already, is make sure that you do your research, do your homework on the agency that you're applying for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can come from an organization that has very strict operating procedures or missions, goals, and objectives, all of that sort of stuff. But where is it about where you're applying now? So, and in your interview responses, don't just talk about, well, in my agency, we always did this and we always did it that way. Well, demonstrate that you know what that agency does and that you're excited about that mission. You want to contribute towards that something rather than just, replaying what you've already done in the past. Be more focused on the future.
Right. Focused on the future. And even if you don't have a current agency that you're working at, if you're completely brand new to the federal government, do whatever research you can on the public-facing websites for the agency.
Right. And a lot of agencies right now have a lot of social media presence out there as well. Look for them on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, understand what's going on. Read their budget requests that they're sending over to Congress as well. A lot of that information is available on the agency's website.
Yeah, all good tips.
Yeah, all very good tips. Thank you. What's number 3?
Number 3 is know your why.
Yes, exactly. Why are you there? Simon Sinek had this great thing where he said, people buy why you do it, not what you do. So you could talk a whole lot about, your technical qualifications and why you're a good fit overall, but really understanding what drives what you're doing. What is the connectedness that you have to the mission or the organization or whatever the work is? For instance, you can talk about the passion that you have to find and unlock different aspects of data. And that's something that you have a real passion for. So the work as an analyst, you'd be able to find that information very rewarding, that process very rewarding.
Right. And I think you could even use that Venn diagram that we constantly talk about
Yes.
and use that to create some sort of elevator speech to answer this type of question.
Yeah, purpose focused. What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that you can get paid for? What is it that the agency does? And really, at the end of the day, what is it that you have a real strong connection with? Right? Yeah,
Mhm.
just think through that. And when you're able to concentrate all of those questions on what that job is and what you're applying for, then that's your why. And it's very compelling too, is if you're talking to a person in an interview and one person is kind of interested and the other one just really seems to connect. Well, who is the more obvious choice?
The one who has more of the connection and the passion for the work.
Exactly. And the passion for the work. Well, what's the last strategy?
The last one is to send thank you messages.
That seems like it's pretty standard, right?
Seems to be.
Seems to be, but it's not always the case. Yes, the follow up emails are a wonderful way to really communicate your interest in the position.
And even just appreciation for the time that the interviewers spent interviewing you.
Exactly. Make it personalized, of course. Say, thank you for the time. I appreciate our discussion about, and then share a connection or a personal anecdote that you had a connection with that person, just to demonstrate that you're listening, that you're a good person to work with, not just a person that was just sitting there taking up their
Right.
time.
The human factor.
Right. At the end of the day, people hire people, not pieces of paper. So demonstrate that connection that you have and really establish that idea that you want the job.
Right. And it's not to be, not manipulative or another way to strategize to get the position.
Right.
It's merely just saying thank you to people who took the time out of their day to help you towards your possibly next career.
Exactly. Being
It's just the
genuine.
right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do. Absolutely. And if it just happens to be the right thing that benefits you in your career search and the organization because they're going to get a really qualified person, well, what's wrong with any of that? It's good news all the way around. That's why you were there in the first place interviewing, right?
Mhm.
That's why you wanted the job and why you applied for the job. So follow through.
Yeah.
Karen, any closing thoughts on this?
No, other than just make sure that you are able to explain why you want this job. And it should very much be purpose driven because
Mhm.
all of us want to make enough money to have a comfortable lifestyle.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, especially with public service, it is the good work worth doing.
Mhm.
And so you want to make sure that you're speaking to that and not necessarily whatever grade you're getting, asking when is my next grade increase going to happen.
When's my promotion? What's
Right.
happening?
Because
Yeah.
if you are seen to be more driven by numbers than by passion and mission, then ultimately that might be a detriment to what you're trying to do.
Absolutely. Very well said. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for our last episode that we have for our 9-part series on interview strategies. We look forward to seeing you next week as we close that out and also looking forward for more of our series that we have coming up. Also, please feel free to come out to the govgeeks.com. We have events that we're interested to share with you all, as well as free tools, resources, and other materials available. We are career coaches for government, and we are here to help make the world a better place. That's what the GovGeeks is all about, right?
Right. And focus on the future.
There you go. Thank you. We'll see you next week.